Hey there, Reese from the Point Music News with another podcasty thingy. This one was a very special one because I actually got to interview a lifelong friend. Yeah. Special guest this episode is Luke Williams, aka MrLicka, aka drummer from Dead Letter Circus, as well as many other ones like Melodicy, blah, blah, blah. Known him for 27 years now, but strange, just the way things are, we've never had a proper catch up in that long. I mean, occasionally we see each other gigs and say good day and quick chat, but yeah, this one was a special one for me because I actually got to spend some time with a long-time friend. Licka has his debut album. He's gone and released a PsyTrance album, which is it's deep. I like it. Well worth checking out. I will link it in the comments below. Anyway, I'm rambling. Please give it up for MrLicka. Here we go. Live screen. Luke Williams. Hello, my friend.
How you doing, Reese?
That makes me.
Been a while.
You know what? That's really weird calling you Luke Williams. I really fucking hate that because it just feels strange.
It feels strange on my end as well. Because most people know me as Licka.
Yeah. Now you've got something to celebrate. You've got a new album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dropping on. Well, it's out now on Bandcamp. Yeah. On Friday. Last Friday it dropped. So and then it's on the streaming platforms on the 31st. So
we'll cut straight to the chase because you've had a pretty wicked journey. Like, I mean, me and you, we've known each other for 27 years now, I think. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, a long time. But when I think I heard through Rowie first that you were writing the sort of stuff you just released, and to be honest with you, I was not surprised.
Okay.
And the main reason being is that I was watching, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you had your trip with DLC over to India, was that some kind of switch for you to?
No. That was just a gig. The India trip. We did myself and two of the other guys from DLC and our producer Forrester. We went to the Amazon jungle in 2010. That was kind of the turning point a little bit for me, like discovering plant medicines and in particular DMT at that time. Forrester introduced us to that in 2010 while we were recording This Is the Warning. That was DLC's debut record, and that kind of blew my mind a little bit. So we went discovering the origins of that into the Amazon, and it's kind of slowly built from there. My journey from progressive rock, alt rock, whatever you want to call Dead Letter Circus, into a more electronic psychedelic sort of thing. And I guess, the psychedelics played a big role in my journey with that and self-discovery and that kind of opening my mind to things. And so it's been, a 10-year journey, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like evolution of myself and my musical taste, because back in the day I would have never listened to electronic music, really. You know, you and me grew up on rock and metal, and that's pretty much was my world. I mean, I was kind of dabbled in other styles, but my main thing was rock and metal, you know?
Yeah. I think we all kind of show kind of weird. I mean, I do remember you showing a little bit of interest into the like the sort of, it's not back in the day we were called techno or house or something like that. Mainly with Riser, like mutual friend Riser and that sort of stuff. When he was like, you'd see that creeping in with Melodicy even. So I mean, I've always loved it. Like I always used to, like when I turned 18 and 19, when I started going to clubs, I would drive to Brisbane every second weekend, you know, to dance at the clubs and stuff. I like dance music, but I never really sort of saw myself back then writing it. I just enjoyed listening to it and dancing to it. So it was always kind of in me to be vibed up on that. But the actual act of making it was very different. And two, because like as a musician, first and foremost, I was never used to
recording my own stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'd always have to employ a third party, or the bands that I was working with had to employ a recording engineer and or a mix engineer and a mastering engineer, so on and so forth. And now you get this thing of when you're an electronic music producer, you kind of are doing your own mixes yourself.
Yeah.
You'd be aware of this. I mean, a lot of people are getting into that now with home recording. But that's kind of really forced me into the world of mixing my own stuff, and
But would you grab sort of like techniques and tips, like hanging out with someone such as Forrester? I know it's completely different realms, but the idea of mixing itself, the art of mixing, you would have watched even like what he would do in the studio and behind the desk. And,
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. We're picking up things all the time. How to operate Pro Tools, like the technical side of operating Pro Tools, and then when you started to get into the nitty gritty of how compressors work, how how EQs work, ducking EQs, like subtractive EQing, delays, all of those things. Just you would subconsciously, I think, pick it up, and then when I got to writing my own music, you'd start to employ those techniques. And still, there was a learning curve where you had to figure out how to use compressors and reverbs and delays and
still learning
EQs. I'm still learning. Yeah, I mean, well, exactly right. The thing is, I think I'll always be learning. With anything, I don't think you ever master it. You just get better and better at it. But you're never perfect.
Oh hell no! It's always a frustrating thing. So you call it? Is it Place Among the Senses? Is that right? The name of the album?
A Place Beyond the Senses.
Place Beyond the Senses. Sorry.
Yes.
The vodka's already kicked in for me, dude.
Nice. Yes, I'm on dry July, so I can't join you there.
I need it after this week already. So what's the deal with the name? It's I can imagine, like, because I've listened to the album. Sorry, I have listened to I've listened to half the album so far, and it might surprise you, but I actually do listen to this kind of music on occasion. Like when I'm touring, like with Barefoot or something like that, I normally go to sleep listening to Dead Mouse. I mean, well,
he was funny you bring him up. He was my first electronic music love, I guess. Dead Mouse. Cool. Yeah, he was the one who got me into wanting to make dance music.
I'm not crazy.
No, he's awesome. He's very good, very, very talented. Yeah. And then I just went more psychedelic, obviously, than what Dead Mouse is. But his music was the first kind of dance music that excited me, and I was just listening to on a regular basis. So the album title, A Place Beyond the Senses, it kind of took me a while to think of a title for the record, but I thought that one was appropriate because it was like, sometimes, I guess when I'm writing this music, sometimes it feels like things are like, I don't want to sound wanky, but like things were coming through me that, like, it almost feels sometimes like my fingers were being guided on the keyboard or something, and it's like when I listen back to what I made, it's like how did I make that?
You're
like,
tapping into something, man.
Maybe, and another reason for that name is I've done a lot of psychedelics now, and I think that we are there's a lot of things beyond our senses that we can't perceive, like say for the light with our eyes, for example. There's only a certain bandwidth of the electromagnetic spectrum we can see, but there's much more out there that exists, but we can only see a small portion of it. And I think that exists for all of our senses, and I think there's information out there to be gained, and then but you got to kind of know how to tap into it and be open to receiving that as well. So
Right.
Trying to maybe expand the bandwidth just a little bit together, just maybe squeeze a little bit more juice out of all of those senses.
For me, listening to this album, like, I've only been listening to it on headphones, and I believe that this type of music, for me anyway, is the type of music you either listen to on a big system, which is you're thinking festivals or Doof Fests or anything like that, or headphones. The reason why I like the headphones is I can hear all the textures and layers you're actually been putting in there. I mean, you compare this to like house and EDM music that was made in the 90s, early 2000s. Sure, there were textures in it, but because the digital tapestry and the digital world of making music now is just gone stupid in what you're capable of doing. You just keep on adding tracks and tracks and tracks and tracks and tracks. You can add so much shit in there. And listening to, I think it was the third track. Is it the one? It's either track 1 or track 2 or track 3. It's got the full tabla start at the beginning of it.
Oh, it might be Quantum Architects that you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to it and it was coming from like here, over here, over here, and I actually, I mean, because Tool does the same sort of thing as well on that spectrum, and I love that kind of stuff where you can't. It feels like it's physically, the sound is physically there because of the way it's being placed, instead of just being left, right, and that's it, and center.
Yeah.
And I think with electronic music as such, you guys have more room to play, I would say, without confusing or making a mess of things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we're lucky. I'm lucky as a electronic music producer that I have the luxury of finding good source material. Like, I don't have to really work with any bad source material. Like, I pick the samples which I like, and then I can pan them and place them where I want. Whereas someone that deals with real instrumentation, drums and bass and guitar, I think that they've got a harder job than I do, because like you've got to mix. Yeah, and you've got to mix those well and place them. Whereas I can just kind of cherry pick samples that already sound good. Do you know what I mean? And I have to do like, just a little bit to get them to sound how I want them to. Sometimes a lot, but most often the source material is good, so I've only got to tweak them a little bit, maybe a mild EQ, some compression, some effects, and it's kind of good to go. So we've got so much at our disposal now as producers. Like, the amount of synths that you can buy or preset packs you can buy now is fucking endless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It just takes like up storage of computer, basically.
It's crazy. Like, my sample libraries are close to 1 terabyte, so which I trawl on a regular basis.
Jesus.
It's terabyte of samples. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it could be overwhelming because you've got a lot of material to go through. It's kind of like Netflix when you get on, you're trying to find something to watch.
You end up going back to what you like, basically.
Yeah. So I think we're pretty blessed these days as electronic music producers, that there's so much material out there that we can take advantage of. Do you know what I mean? I've got a bunch of companies that I use regularly for their presets and their effects and so forth, plugins. So yeah, definitely lucky, and it's gotten so cheap now with home recording. You're doing your own home recording,
yeah.
It's fucking it's so cheap to do that now. So
I mean, I still don't record the drums here. I got because of the live drums, will go to a studio and track that.
Of course,
everything else, even the vocals, the room I'm in right now is actually quite small, so it's actually quite good for an actual vocal booth, believe it or not.
Okay.
And it's I have that flexibility there, and our rehearsal studio is actually a studio as well. So if we need to book time, we just book time. But nowhere near as flexible as what EDM artists really. You could basically wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and have an experimental burst.
Absolutely.
And you can get
and I do that. Like, sometimes I'll go till 2 in the morning, or sometimes I rarely wake up with an idea. I mean, in the middle of the night, I'll wake up in the morning at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock and have a coffee and get straight into it. That happens. I do know producers that will wake up in the middle of the night, like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. I was talking to Jed from Basic Records the other day, and he was saying that he had to get up at 3 or 4 in the morning so he could write music, and that was just a crazy thought to me, because like, I kind of like my sleep, and do you know what I mean? I want to get a nice solid 6 to 8 hours sleep and then get up and then start working on it. So you signed to as Universal Tribe, isn't it? It is, yeah.
Yeah, you signed to them without even having played. You haven't even played a show, have you? You haven't done a festival.
No. Yeah, that's the thing with I guess producers.
Yeah.
You can hone your craft so well at home, and you've never even played a show. And they were asking for submissions, and then I sent the album to them, and then they liked it, and it was kind of just really streamlined. And yeah, now it's out, and now I've been putting festival applications in to play it. Now I'm going to start. well, hopefully it's not that long. There are festivals that are planning to go ahead around October. I don't know if that's going to happen, but like Island Vibes, is set to go in October. To Mushroom Valley up in North Queensland. There's a bunch who say they're going to go.
As long as it's not in Victoria, you'll be fine.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So Victoria can get their shit under control, so we can head down there. Because I mean, a lot of the really big doofs are down in
Rainbow Serpent and that sort of stuff.
Rainbow, yeah, that's where I started going. The bush doofs was down in Victoria. So yeah, the biggest one in Australia it was just Rainbow. So that's in Victoria.
Did that get like properly like just cancelled completely, or is that going to be brought back again? Because wasn't there one or two that got absolutely just like those?
Well, they couldn't do it because of the bushfires this year, because it was around Australia Day.
Yep.
And they had the bushfires.
Yeah.
Victoria had the bushfires around then, so I think they got fucked with the bushfires, and then they were planning to do it again, and all this COVID stuff hit, so they kind of got double whammy this year. Yeah, but yeah. It's a real bummer. Hopefully next year. I think everyone's hanging out for some live music.
Well, I played my first gig back last week.
Okay, yeah, on the Sunshine Coast. Oh, that's with Barefoot, right? Yeah.
It was weird.
Was that with not Butterfingers?
No, Butterfingers played the next night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Tier 1 I played the night after that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was a big
what a weekend.
Yeah, it was a big weekend. I didn't do all of them. I know Rowie did. I basically just did our gig basically because I'm sort of like I'm just burnt out from work and life. I'm overdue for a holiday and unplug, I think. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, you can't. Well, maybe an Australian holiday. You can't go overseas yet.
No, just not even going anywhere. Just unplugging from everything and just not being reached to do stuff.
What were you still working through COVID?
Yeah, I haven't stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. See, I got because I'm a musician, a professional musician. All the gigs went away,
and you couldn't.
And
teach
so
either,
I could. Well, I was doing online teaching via Zoom, which kind of sucked.
Yeah, because there'd be lag and all that sort of shit.
There's a time delay and but I mean that was kind of COVID as fucked as that whole situation was. It kind of gave me time to finish off the album.
Yep.
A Place Beyond the Senses to get it done. So I mean I got a lot of work done. I wasn't, and I still kind of had the money coming in from the government.
Yeah.
I still do have the money coming in from the government. So I mean, I feel like I've had a break.
Yeah.
But you haven't got that because some people just kept working through it.
My job actually, because of what I do, the majority of the work actually shifted online. And that's my area of expertise. So my work actually tripled. Everything was resting on me to make sure the business was still running. So now it's eased off and it's actually kind of evened out. But for the good period of 6 weeks to 8 weeks there, if I wasn't there to do my job, then it would just stall. It's kind of nice knowing that I was needed in that sense, but at the same time, it's kind of like I need to. It feels like everyone else has had their chance to have their breathe or reset and that sort of stuff. I haven't because I've been doing these because I've enjoyed doing these. I've been mixing Mules' stuff. Barefoot's album's done.
You're mixing that as well. Are you mixing all of that?
Not Barefoot's. No.
No. Okay.
Just Mules' one.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
Barefoot was all under the control of Paulie B at Yamanui, man, and it's
okay. Sure.
We got the masters back last week, and it sounds mint.
Okay. I do remember seeing Rowie online having a little moment of oh man, I've been listening to the new album and it sounds so good. So that was nice.
I mean, how long did it take for you to write A Place Beyond the Sentences?
That's two years of mixing, like writing and mixing. Yeah,
and the last DLC album that took about a year, didn't it? Like 6 months to a year.
We got a streamlined process now. That only takes about 4 months.
All right, this Barefoot album's taken 4 years.
4. Okay, yeah, okay.
Hence why we're like, finally, we've got new songs.
Is that just because everyone has got other projects on the go, or
cost? Because for a band like us, I mean, studio time is expensive, and reggae, there's actually we're not stripped back reggae. There's a lot of stuff coming in everywhere, a lot of layers involved, and yeah, it was cost, time, and timing, and proofing and all that sort of shit too, making sure we're happy with the direction, and then yeah, usual sort of guff. I mean, hopefully the next album doesn't take that long because we're already planning it. I mean, as you know, the creative process is like you're already starting another album as it is right now. It never stops.
Yeah.
And we've got plenty of material that can go onto another album. So it's yeah, and it's just like, oh, here we go again.
The never-ending cycle. Yeah. Well, I just hope that I have that creative fire for my whole life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think as we get older, it's some people lose that spark of wanting to create.
You've always struck me as someone that would never stop playing. You've always been like that. Yeah. I don't think like now. For me now, the electronic music it's more important to me than drumming. So there's a big shift that's happened there. Do you know what I mean? But I think I'll always love music. But definitely, I think this is like it's weird to have myself have a bigger focus than the drums because the drums was always the biggest focus. Okay,
of my...
here's the thing for you because you've gone so fucking far in your level of drumming. I mean, I still hold you up here, dude. Like, seriously.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're one of my like, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. It's basically, you're one of my favorite drummers to ever watch live as well as like listening to. And I've always said that you've got this melodic sense as well. You got a different technique to drumming than a lot of others do. But is it because that you've taken your drumming so far that you've just gone, what else can I do now, basically?
No, I don't think that's it. Like, because there's always room for improvement. Like, there's I could be a much better drummer. It's just that I don't know. I've just got this other passion now that's kind of taken it over, and I'm just kind of running with it. And sometimes I feel a bit of guilt that I'm not dedicating as much time as I used to the drums. Because that's all I used to do, and now I'm still playing drums. For like, depends on how many gigs I have, but like 4 to 10 hours a week. But like I used to play much more than that. Do you know what I mean? So now the focus has shifted to the PsyTrance, and it's like that's cool. Like I'm still getting that outlet.
But that's a passion for you now, whereas it sounds like drumming was becoming a job.
Drumming is a job, yeah. It pays my rent. So
that would be, I mean, you're doing something you love, but to a certain point when you've been getting paid to do something you love and it's treated as a chore, or you got to do it all the time, and you're not giving yourself enough time to sort of have a break from it. No shit that this producing EDM and PsyTrance and that sort of stuff is giving you sense of purpose and life and that sort of stuff musically. It makes perfect sense, dude.
Yeah. It's weird to think that I've come to this point. Like 10 years ago, I would never have thought that this would happen, but it's kind of happened. But it's awesome. Like it's fucking great that you can. And what I was saying before is like I hope that I just keep having that creative fire. I hope it never goes away because I'm 40. We're both 40 now.
41,
so 41. Yeah. So I hope that I have that until I die. That creative. Yeah. That drive to fucking want to create art and put art out into the world, because it's like what gives me purpose. Like it's always been what has given us both purpose. I would imagine is making art, making beautiful music for a sad world. That John C. Reilly would say in Step Brothers. Like you just you're making this stuff and this art, and it's wonderful. Like it gives you a bit of pain when it doesn't go right, but then I think the times when it does go right and you nail it, it's like fuck yeah, that's awesome. So like it feels good to create this stuff, and it feels good when other people enjoy it as well. I think. Did
you play this to the DLC dudes? Like before you released it? And that?
Oh, they always saw me on tour riding. Like I'd have my laptop out on the road, and they always knew that I was working towards this. I think a couple of them have listened to it.
I mean, surely Vinny would have listened to it, yeah?
Oh, I saw Vinny had commented on one of my tracks. the other day.
Right.
So yeah, those guys those guys don't like PsyTrance. I think they understand, like, they get that it's a style of music, and I think they appreciate it for what it is. I don't think they would ever listen to I mean, fuck, I don't think many people listen to PsyTrance, to be honest. It's a very niche genre.
There's a lot
music.
of people that do listen to it, but yeah, they're not the type that would be sort of watching a podcast right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and this is my thing of having to find now a tribe or a group of people that do listen to it. So I mean, I know there is. I'm just being a dickhead when I say there's not many, but like, it's not as popular as rock or metal or pop, for example, but or hip hop. But now I've fallen in with the Universal Tribe crew. Now I think and like, you know, guys like Rowie, who we have a common thing where we love PsyTrance, and I think that my world's going to expand, meeting new people that are into it now when I start playing gigs and meeting the other guys who are on the label and
you'll be going down the rabbit hole right there, man, easily.
Yeah. So, but that's awesome too. Is like getting the chance to meet other new cats who are into what I'm into, because I don't really have much of a crew in Brisbane as far as guys who love PsyTrance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know a couple of guys. So
how do you envision doing this live?
I'm just going to DJ it for now. A lot of people ask me that because I've got the background in drumming and live performance.
I was gonna ask that, like, if you have the SPDX set up or something like that, and doing things that way. Or
I think down the track that would be something that I'll definitely look into, like bringing in a live drum element, because I can do that. I've done that for most of my adult life, played drums professionally, so it would make sense, and that would kind of set me apart, I think. But for now, it's just kind of, because I'm a fucking nobody, like when you do a festival application to say, I want MrLicka to play at this festival, they ask you how long you need to set up. And generally, a DJ can set up in about 5 minutes. It can be like a 5-minute changeover, sometimes quicker with DJs. Like, if they get in and start setting up while the other guy's still finishing. Yeah. If you were to put on a festival application, I need 40 minutes to set my SPD and my eardrums up, they'd be like, bro,
fuck.
We're just going to go with a DJ on this one. Yeah. Someone who can just keep the stage going without a 40-minute.
But yeah. What you would be basically pitching once you would fine tune that, it'd be something like this might shock you, but Square Pusher. I mean, with his live bass element and sort of stuff, it'd be the same kind of thing, man. You'd be sound checking an instrument, but I can't imagine like a full acoustic drum setup. Surely you'd have
no. It'd be an ear-drum setup.
Whack.
It'd be crazy weird, to see. And or like it'd be SPD.
Yep.
And or a Roland V kit.
It'd still be sick to watch.
It'd be good to watch. I mean, guys like OPO, who you probably know. OPO, he's got that double SPD set up, so it's definitely a thing that you could work towards. I think. But for now, to get my foot in the door, I'd kind of just lube it up with just making it the easiest set up and set down or pack down possible. Do you know?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to bring up too was like I said, I've digested probably about half of the album so far. One of it, there's definitely stuff that's like, okay, yep, that's PsyTrance straight up. But I think there was one track on there I just went, holy shit, this actually reminds me of Left Field. If you're familiar with
I have heard of Left Field. Yeah. I'm not really familiar with their music, but
they actually did. They're the ones that did Open Up.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the cog did. Yeah.
And if you listen to, like, this is gonna sound old, but the Hackers, you know, the movie Hackers. Oh, you're frozen.
Don't. No. Yeah, you just dropped out a little bit. No, got you back.
Cool. The movie Hackers from like late '90s. The soundtrack to that, Left Field's on that too. They do it's very. There's something on there that's got a late 90s house element to it. Just underlying. I just went, ooh, this is different. This is tasty. I could listen to this. Yeah, definitely.
I do. They use a lot of female vocal, don't they? Left Field?
Not always.
Female vocalists?
Not always.
No? Okay.
Yeah. They do. They have used it, but not always.
My thing is like female vocals. I use female vocals on nearly every track. I think it's kind of becoming my signature a little bit, I think, to use that ethnic sort of female voice on there. if it's chopped or if it's whole phrases,
But would you use a local artist to do something next?
I would love to use local artists, yeah.
Because you would know quite a few amazing female singers as it is anyway.
Yeah, I would definitely be down for getting a girl in here and recording some vocals for sure. Yeah, which would be my own, that aren't on any other sample packs. That would be the best thing. I think producers are always producers are always chasing that. I think something that's not lifted from the sample pack. That's yours and no one else has access to. Do you know what I mean? That's definitely a thing in this world. So yeah, fuck man, I would
like someone like Jesseline or like
yeah, she's amazing. Yeah,
I got her to sing on a Mules track too, so I was pretty stoked about that. It's like
nice. Yeah, I used to work with her. She was in a band with me back in the day. So she's amazing, lovely girl, and just fucking incredible voice. So
ain't it what?
Yeah.
Oh,
power.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the one way to describe power and control.
Yeah.
That thing is pretty freaking amazing. All right, so I'm gonna ask things now that we go away from the PsyTrance thing. Obviously, people are gonna be asking what DLC is doing at the moment too.
Not much, dude. Not much at all. Everyone's kind of got their own things that are happening at the moment. Kim now runs a social media marketing company called South Social.
Oh yeah.
They're doing very well now.
They're doing the zoo stuff at the moment, the antisocial gigs and that sort of shit.
They were doing heaps of stuff, man. They were doing mainly live ticket sales, so that's a lot of that's dried up because of COVID.
Yeah.
But they've kind of moved into other areas now. But that company went from nothing to fucking something like really fast. So Kim's got that. He's really busy with that. Vinny's doing his producing and mixing. He's doing the Butters pre-production at the moment.
Yeah.
Luke Palmer is doing he's a producer now, so he's got his own home studio.
I can't remember which band he was working on. Fuck. It's a band that I've been following for a little bit, and I went, holy shit, that's Luke. Like, there's Luke Palmer fucking doing the producing.
Last thing I did with him was Mass Sky Raid, which is a Gold Coast band, which I think their record, it must be mixed by now, I would think. Yeah, I did the drums on that. He was producing, engineering that. He's super busy as well, recording. So, and Stewie is working. He's in New Zealand at the moment. He's working for Kim as Kim's video guy for South Social. So, me and Kim had a phone call the other day, and we discussed new music, like getting everyone in a room to have a band meeting to discuss the potential of creating another record. I think it's a bit up in the air at the moment as to whether everyone wants to do it or has time to do it.
Well, it's been 3 years since the last one, hasn't it? Or 4?
No, not even. The last one was the end of 2018.
Oh, it's 2, nearly 3.
Was it?
The self-titled?
Yeah, it was. The self-titled, it was the end of 2018. So, you're getting closer to 2 years now for that record. So I think Kim's feeling the itch because he's been in corporate world, with the marketing company. So I think he really wanting to express some creative fire. The rest of us are kind of still been doing our creative ventures, So Kim's definitely keen. It's like I'm kind of like on the fence, and I haven't really talked to the other guys yet about how they're feeling about it, whether they're fully keen. I think that's why we need to have a band meeting and just discuss the thought of being in this again for another 2 years.
Yeah, another tour cycle basically. Because there was rumors that there was supposed to be because I got inside info all the time that you guys were actually planning shows through July. Like way back earlier in the year.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, we were gonna do a national run then. It feels like a long time since we did a tour.
Didn't you play over in Western Australia like back in March or February or something?
Yeah, we did a couple of WA shows at the start of the year.
Yeah.
That was Sugarloaf Rock and the Newport in Fremantle. So yeah. We can write an album pretty quick. Like our last 2 albums, we've written and recorded in a matter of like 4 to 5 months. That's the time frame now for us to do an album.
I suppose it depends on Forrester's sort of schedule too, yeah, because he's
depends on him, and like we use him and Matt Bartlam.
Oh, yep.
Matt Bartlam sort of, yeah, they both are in pre-production, and then they split off once the songs are written. Barty produces Kim's vocals, and Forrester takes care of the band. That's how our workflow now.
Wow, I never knew that.
Work.
Wow.
Yeah. Because Kim sort of he takes a lot. It's very meticulous, so he kind of demands a full-time producer and engineer when he's recording. And yeah, so if we're gonna have a meeting soon and just discuss everyone's vibe on whether we want to do that again.
And depending on what your schedule is going to be like, if you're getting these festival applications, man, if you're going to have to work around that.
If I start gigging, yeah, it's like that's a thing. Like, you know, I got this thing now. The Mr. Licka project is something that is fulfilling my creative needs, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't feel like I have to jump back to DLC now, which that kind of defined me. You know, we all have these things that define us as humans, and I guess DLC was my defining role, I guess, as drummer for that band. But now it kind of feels like it's shifting a little bit. Obviously, Mr. Licka is not successful yet. It remains to be seen whether that's successful, but I don't think you can not follow something because it's not as successful as your previous thing. You know what I mean? You just got to do it because you love doing it. And
well, you've been with DLC for, what, 12, 13 years, haven't you?
Exactly right, yeah.
So that's a long time, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've had some fucking great times, and we've toured the world and played, you know, awesome shows.
Got a big fucking gold record right behind you.
Yeah, that's the gold record, yep. It always lives there. I didn't put it there just for this podcast. I swear to God, it's always there.
Oh,
yeah. But it is placed. It is placed.
My gold record over here. I just took it down because I didn't want the ego thing happening.
Oh, nice. It's very humble. Very humbling. Very humble of you. Yeah. I'm not so humble.
Never.
So yeah, you can't see. I got a skateboard up there, which is a DLC skateboard as well. That's right next to it. So
is that from the Aesthesis?
Aesthesis record. That's the one. Yeah. Nice pronunciation. You got it right.
Hey, dude, I've reviewed your albums before. You know that. So
it's a bit of a tongue twister. That one.
At least it's not like an ice-thesis, like with the AE, with like what Tool does and that kind of crap. You know, with the Inema.
Yeah, the A joined to the E. Yeah.
I can't even remember. There's a special terminology for that actual symbol. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Did not know that.
Yeah, there's an actual name for that thing. And there you go. That's something you didn't know. Now you know.
No.
So, going back to your Mr. Licka project, what's the writing process how do you approach the tracks from that? As an organic kind of thing, you sort of like come up with, you find a beat that you like, or a BPM that you like, and you're just going, okay, and then you've come up, doodle some kind of sample pack, or you just basically got this melody in your head and you go from there, or is it just...
No, it's generally like, you need something to give you a vibe, because generally I don't have any preconceived notions about how a song is going to sound, or a melody yet. Like, the melodies come when I'm in the song.
Yeah.
Normally, I guess what, like a standard starting point would just be a droning pad. Like a nice droning pad might be enough of a bass to let me start creating sounds on top of.
Well, that's a kind of Mediterranean kind of like a Arabian kind of sort of approach to it when you think about that, because they use a lot of drone notes and that sort of shit. I mean, if you have...
Yeah, and the Indians do as well. So I mean, I've got a lot of ethnic plugins, you know, that create the sound of India or the sound of the Middle East, and sometimes maybe it's a vocal from a sample pack that maybe gives me that I need something just to spark it off, and generally it just cascades from there, and then I'll trawl samples, or I'll trawl my synths for sounds, and then I just kind of fucking layer it, and so it's with PsyTrance it's kind of this thing where you've got your driving bass and kick, and then it's just tightly stacked lead lines that just kind of buzz, 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 one after the other, and it's always like ear candy. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you're just trying to excite the ears all the time, pretty much with PsyTrance, because you've got your steady drone bass and your kick, and you're just basically putting ear candy on top, right? That's how I see it. And then sometimes it's nice to have melodies that people can latch onto as well. Like it can't be all sound designy, fucking weird noises that excite the ears. I think you've got to have a melodic hook sometimes that comes in.
Well, like I always like the panning. Like the one thing I do appreciate about, like I said, with PsyTrance is the layering, and I love the whole panning. I mean, you've done it too. Like you're going from one ear to the other, and you can feel it go inside your head, now this way and then back again. And
basically, the principle with PsyTrance is modulate, and then after you're done modulating, modulate some more. You know, like, and so you're modulating everything. You're modulating filter cutoffs. You're modulating the panning, volume modulation, automation. Everything's kind of always changing because it's kind of trying to mimic the psychedelic experience or enhance the psychedelic experience, which is in itself a very transient, it's a very changing, flowy, like flux state where everything's changing. Like it's kind of hard to describe it. When you're when you're on psychedelics, you can just feel this constant flux of everything's changing and new information's coming in. So that's basically what you're trying to replicate or enhance when you make PsyTrance, is that psychedelic state. So that's why you're getting the lead lines that are constantly changing and little bits of candy everywhere. It's like wow, because that's like what the psychedelic state is. You know, your brain is generally in the psychedelic state. Like our brain is like a filter, right? It's kind of, there's so much data coming into our brain, but it wants to delete most of it because you don't need most of the information that's coming. It wants you to your brain is deleting stuff because it only wants the information that's
surely
coming
it absorbs everything, but you just don't have access to it, right?
Well, this could be a thing as well, yeah. This could be a thing that could be storing somewhere, but for our waking, everyday, ordinary consciousness, we need only a fraction of the information that's coming in to keep us alive. You know, well, Luke, I want Luke to not die.
Well, so that's what I thought dreams basically were. Was basically when you've dreamt something, you're just going, wow, that was really whack. But how the hell they come up with this? Obviously, something your brain has absorbed at some point through your journey. Your brain is a sponge. I mean, I'm fucking going Joe Rogan here. I didn't want to do this, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're right. Like and just because we don't have access to it in our normal waking consciousness doesn't mean that it didn't get absorbed somewhere and put on a fucking in a folder somewhere in the back of our brain.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's like a hard drive, man. One thing I was going to bring up, though, my wife Sheree, she, I mean, we both don't do psychedelics or anything like that. You've known what I'm like anyway. So, but she recently did the Archer. Is it Archer lights? Have you heard of those? Dude.
Archer?
Yeah,
Archer. Archer?
Hang on, I'll have to do a quick,
how do you spell that?
I'm going to have to do a quick fucking Google. Hang on a sec, man. I reckon you would...
You need a Jamie.
I need a Jamie. I am my own Jamie. Because it's a light... it's an experience that replicates the psychedelic.
With flashing lights,
with
like behind
LED. Yeah, I think it's Archer. Archer.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
She did that, and she said it was nothing like she'd ever experienced before. Yeah, okay. Archer, ANTJA, Archer light.
What's that spelling?
Hang on, is it that? I'll text it through to you, man. I'll find it and I'll text it through to you. But basically, it's okay. I think it's ANJA or ANTJA or something like that. I'll find out and I'll send it through to you. But basically, it's you lay down, close your eyes, and you have this white LED light, and it just flashes at you. But because your eyes are closed, and you're sort of not focusing on anything but that, it taps into your pineal gland, and you start having a replicant of a DMT, a psychedelic experience. And Cherise said she's never had like a psychedelic experience in her life, and she did this after having a tattoo, and she was seeing all colors appearing and fractals and faces appearing and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And she asked the artist, she's going, so what was the deal with the colors? She goes, there was no color there. It was just a white light.
Okay. Awesome.
I'll text it through to you, man. You might be like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean this reminds me of my original DMT trip when I was telling you before about how Forrester Saville,
Yeah.
thanks Forry, he introduced all of the DLC guys to DMT. We were in the studio recording. This is the warning, and like, okay, to cut a long story short, I went and procured the DMT. We came back. We were upstairs at the studio at Loose Stones that Matt Bartlett owned. And I'd had this first experience, and yeah, this thing, it was a mild experience for my first one. I didn't go full tilt into it, but there was just like these green and red fucking pyramids just like revolving around each other. And so, yeah, I had that kind of similar experience on my first DMT trip of just like these red and green pyramids.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So I've always got
It's amazing.
Well, I've got that fear of losing control. That's my main blocker from doing it. That's why, like, you know, I don't dabble in anything. I may have a bit of weed every now and then, but basically that is it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I don't think it's pretty, like, if you have a breakthrough experience, it can be terrifying. Like, I've seen people have legitimately terrifying experiences.
Have you done the full blown ayahuasca ceremony though?
Yeah. I'm sitting again tomorrow night actually.
Oh, wow.
Up on the Sunshine Coast. Yeah.
Because that's a different thing again, isn't it?
Well, that's DMT, but that's through your stomach. So
yes, and naturally it's digested, and it's a whole. Isn't there like
into your blood?
Yeah.
It's right. It's a purgative, so you can expect to vomit and or poo a lot.
Just wear a big nappy and a bib, basically.
Because I mean, most times you can make it to the toilet. I haven't seen anyone have an issue with that, but I mean, yeah, it's I prefer the ayahuasca experience now. It's much more navigable experience, whereas smoke DMT is like the drive-by shooting of psychedelics or the bungee jump of psychedelics. Right, it's just like fucking 30 seconds and you're in there.
Yeah, and but it's a shorter. Would it be a shorter trip though? Because
it's 5 or 10 minutes with smoked DMT, and Aya's like anywhere from 5 to 7 hours, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. Yeah.
No, thank you.
And I mean, they've been the most amazing experiences of my life. Like, there's nothing that has been more amazing to me. Also, the most scary moments of my life as well. But you know, like where I haven't had control, and that's what you were saying, is that can be terrifying because we're always trying to control our mind, and when you start losing control of that, I call it the data stream, and all the information, because your filters are down. You know, your brain stops filtering out all of that useless information now anymore. It's just fucking letting it in, and you just like, that can be really overwhelming and terrifying. But I think it's worth it for the good times. Like, and you can, like, within one trip, you can go from being terrified to being ecstatic, to being in awe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and vice versa, you can go from being ecstatic to terrifying, like, and then back again, and then yeah. It's an amazing, wonderful thing. It really is.
All right, we've actually gone past the 45 minutes, man. That went real.
Really? No, really? You said it would go quick.
I told you it would go quick, man. We'll wrap it out now. I'll have a chat to you after this, though. Place Beyond the Senses is out on Bandcamp now, and it's out on streaming platforms like
on the 31st.
31st. Yeah. All right. Oh, next week.
Yeah,
easy.
Next Friday. Yeah.
All right, so I'll link the Bandcamp one anyway, and
nice.
And
I appreciate that, Resos.
Yeah, you know, you're the only person that still calls me that.
Resos.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
No one. Yeah, I don't think anyone's allowed to do it anymore. You can.
Cool.
You're the only one that can do that now.
Awesome. I like that.
We'll wrap this up. I'll have a chat to you after this, ladies and gentlemen. MrLicka, Luke Williams. Man, it's been awesome.
It has been awesome. Thank you, Reese.
I really hope you enjoyed that one. I enjoyed that one because, like I said, I got to chat with someone I haven't chatted to in a very long time properly. Do check out his album. If you like the PsyTrance sort of stuff, you'll love it. If you haven't delved into that sort of stuff quite yet, or you just don't know, it's well worth sort of just immersing into. Stick it on some headphones and just listen to it. It's good. Really enjoyed it. So keep an eye out for it. It comes out on streaming platforms next Friday. So yeah. If you enjoyed this podcast and other ones in the series and you haven't done so yet, press the subscribe button, ring the bell, and you'll be notified once another one goes live. Do appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting live music, local music, Australian music, all types of music. You guys are legends. Thank you.